well, I'm here with Andrew Penfold, the Chief Executive of the Australian Indigenous Education Foundation, and one of the students whose studies at St Vincent's in Potts Point in Sydney are supported by the foundation, Nahdia Nota. Andrew, tell us about the work of the foundation. What exactly are you doing?
The Australian Indigenous Education Foundation provides scholarships for Aboriginal children to go to some of the best boarding schools in the country. We're currently supporting around 250 students at secondary schools around Australia and also at university in residential colleges at university.
Okay, now Nahdia, you're one of these students, one of the 250 students, and you're here at Canberra because you're all doing some short internships in politicians' offices.
Yeah.
But what's the experience been like boarding at St Vincent's?
It's been a really good experience, better than what I thought it would be. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been really good.
And where were you studying before?
I did my Year 10 through distance education, so I got my certificate through CGBE 010.
Okay, and you're living up on the Tweed?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, Tweed Heads, yeah.
Oh, fantastic, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and what are you planning to do when you're in Year 11?
Year 11, yeah.
What's your ambition for when you leave school?
I want to go to uni, maybe to study social work. That's what I'm thinking of at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, it's great that you're enjoying it so much.
Yes.
You're clearly doing well.
Yeah.
Andrew, what are your plans for the future? You've raised $40 million, I think, 20 from the government and 20 from the private sector. What's the next step for the Australian Indigenous Education Foundation?
Yeah, so we're almost at the 40 million mark. We're still trying to get to that target, but basically that amount of money will enable us to fund about 250 students for the next 20 years, more or less. What we're looking at doing is how we can keep expanding and growing beyond that, because at the moment, whilst we've got 250 students at some of the best schools in the country, we can't keep up with the demand, and the results of the work we do are so compelling in terms of the Year 12 completion rate and the very good success rates.
Well, what is the completion rate?
Where the schools we work with, we surveyed about 12 months ago, and the Year 12 completion rate's around 85%. Which compares to the national rate for Indigenous students of Year 12 completion around 47%. So it's almost double the national rate, and in fact even the non-Indigenous student Year 12 completion rate's only 76% nationally, so it's even above that. So we've got really compelling evidence to support the work we're doing. We do it in an environment of very low cost. We've got a very low cost base. We have a very scalable and efficient model where we partner with some of the leading schools in the country. And notwithstanding these, enormous numbers of students that we're able to support, we can't keep up with the demand. We're getting inundated constantly with inquiries, phone calls, emails from students, from families, from community representatives around the country, and also from schools all around the country. There's 180 boarding schools in Australia. We're currently working with about 25 of them, so we haven't even really scratched the surface in terms of the capacity in the school sector. And there's a huge amount of interest in the schools to be able to work with them to support more scholarships. Okay, now you got it first involved with this, with the program that St Joseph's College in Sydney established. That's right, yes. So I basically had a career for about 20 years as a lawyer and investment banker, unlike yourself, except you're a bit longer than me, I think. But in about 2004, I essentially quit my job in Hong Kong, where I'd been living for 10 years, working in banking and law over there, and moved back to Australia and just started working voluntarily to set up the program at St Joseph's College, where we've now raised about $6.5 million. And that was about a 5-year process to set that up and to raise that money. And then a couple of years ago, we saw the great need, and we were really inspired by the results of that program and the success that it enjoyed. And we really saw a great opportunity to try and address and meet some of the demand from other families and communities around the country. In particular, a lot of schools had said to us, this is great what you've done at St Joseph's College in terms of raising that amount of money to support such a large number of students, but our little school could never hope to do something like that. How can we do something like this? How can we be involved? And so I just saw an opportunity that if we were actually able to aggregate lots of schools together and offer something in a really well-governed, transparent, properly structured framework that had high levels of transparency and reporting and evaluation and so on, that actually we would be able to attract a significant amount of corporate and private sector support for that.
That's what you've done.
That's right.
Well, that's fantastic work, and Nahdia here is a great example of the success of the program, but you need more support. So you're on the web, you're on Twitter, you're very easy to find, and people that want to support you, businesses or individuals or indeed schools, should get in touch with you, Andrew.
That would be great. Yeah, so we're at www.aief.com.au.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Well done,
Malcolm.
guys.
Thanks very much.
Good. Okay.